what the 22nd of April is?
Sunday, miss.
Thanks, TJ. It is Sunday, but it's also World Earth Day. So, today we're going to be talking about sustainability within business ethics. Today, we also have a guest speaker, James Muckey, who is a consultant who works with various organisations around Ireland and helps them to become more sustainable in everyday practices. Does anyone know anything about sustainability? Emma?
It's like how good companies and stuff are for the environment and how efficiently they run.
Great answer, Emma. So, what do people want to get out of today's class?
I want to know more about sustainability, what exactly is it and why it's important in business. I don't know why it relates to it.
Okay, anyone else? Lauren?
I would like to know how an organisation can benefit from it.
Okay, great. So today's learning outcomes are clearly defined on the board. We're going to define sustainability in business ethics, how it's used in practice, how it affects the wider society, how it can benefit organisations, and then James will also discuss some examples of organisations that have developed successful sustainability programmes within their organisation. And we're also going to carry out some activities today to learn a little bit more about sustainability. So, sustainability is seeking to minimise negative environmental and social impacts and ensure the future generations will have adequate resources to meet their needs. Right, so, many companies develop strategies based upon 9 principles of sustainability. The 9 principles are ethics, governance, transparency, business relationships, financial returns, community involvement and economic development, value of products and services, employment practices, and protection of government. Yes, TJ?
What do you mean by ethics?
So, TJ, ethics is the organisation's moral principles and how they conduct business. This could be how they treat their staff, how they dispose of waste correctly, what they do to help the community, and if they're utilising their inputs in their outputs. Okay, so next thing we're moving on to is group activity. I want you all to pair off and come up with how you'd be sustainable in school, home and work. So Kate and Chloe, can you please take school? Emma and TJ, you take home, and Sylvia and Lauren, you take work. And James, will give you a hand.
Yeah, give me a hand.
So was I, yeah, so it was green space, I got the green
What do you have?
I don't know how to talk about matches and stuff, but I remember in the blue boxes, and then we had the lights which they haven't counted well. I didn't have the big huge units, but I have the 5th and 6th class whatever I do it, so then they felt we're doing the thing for college. Yeah, and every year got green planet, it was there was kind of a reward in school, it was okay, so then that would lead to the green flag. And what else, do you remember?
Okay, so does everyone have their answers?
Yeah.
Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so can one member of the group, each of the groups, come up and write up on the board what they think would be a good example of being sustainable? Okay, Chloe?
Yeah.
For schools, we had a couple of options. We talked about primary school, secondary school and college. So we said here we have the sensor lights in the bathrooms when you go in, and we were talking about the electric cars. They have the chargers over at OLIS, which we thought was good, they're promoting kind of the environment and stuff.
Okay, that's a great idea.
And in school, I think we had
Battery recycling.
oh yeah, we had the phone and battery recycling to bring them in.
And Green Schools Committee.
Great.
And then green schools. I think that's all we had, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sylvia, will you put up what you had?
Okay, so we did work. We were saying we could have the recycling bins.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really think of a second one, so can
We were
anybody
thinking
else?
maybe in the canteen instead of, you could bring your mugs down maybe instead. I know they do that at my mom's work, so.
Okay,
So
so that would be reducing waste.
Yeah.
Great. So TJ?
We did home, so we said that you have like compost bins out the back garden where you put all your food and stuff into. And we said solar panels. Yeah.
That's a great idea because then you can heat the water and you can also use that for power and things like that in the home. So those are some great examples from our group activity, and here are another few more examples of how you can be sustainable in practice. So would many of you walk, bike or get the bus to school?
What about electric cars? Are they okay with something?
My auntie has one, but we don't have one. We're kind of looking into it, but
Still
we're
the early
kind of
stage.
individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the early stage, definitely.
Have you heard much about renewable energy?
Solar panels, any got solar panels at home? And they find they save much electricity, you think, from them?
Yeah, my dad says we save loads of money, so I figured.
That's great. And I'm sure you've seen a lot about recycling, reduce, reuse, recycling.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping you're all putting your plastic in the right bins.
Yeah, of course.
Another way of being sustainable is buying products with less packaging. This can be done at home and in the office. Have any of you seen this in any shops you've been to recently?
In the middle.
Oh yeah, they're like not packaging their fruit and veg anymore.
Yeah, that's good now. So that's going to minimise waste at home and they'll be able to dispose of that at the shop. We'll also look at that in more detail.
I actually noticed as well, I was at McDonald's not so long ago and I seen them taking all the straws from the front, put them in behind the counter, and I see you have to ask for straws. You want probably just to cut down on waste. And
Another way of being more sustainable could be changing your light bulbs to more efficient ones. You know, they take that little bit longer to light up and they save a lot more energy and save an extra penny in your pocket.
We put all them in my sitting room at home, like we have a big like reading lamp that we use all night, and we're after putting them in because it just saves on like the electricity bill or whatever. So they changed them, I think, maybe like 6 months ago.
That's good. They tend to last a long time
Yeah.
too. Another way of being more sustainable could be stopping junk mail, or not printing off unnecessary ads and emails that you're getting. You know, just use what you actually need. Another few examples here are Tesco give discounts to their customers for bringing reusable bags. I know, Paige, you mentioned there about having used fruit and veg now. And Starbucks also offer reusable cups that you can bring back in store and you get, I think it's 50 cents off your next cup of coffee. And Maynooth University there, that hopefully you'll all be going to in the future, have sensor lights now inside in their classrooms. So they turn off when you leave and they come back on when the class is in progress. So the next learning outcome was how sustainability affects the wider society. We're going to look at social impacts, environmental impacts and economic impacts. So social, many companies have social goals. They do something that others in societies find useful and are willing to pay for. Many companies achieve these goals through setting up corporate social responsibility activities. These CRS groups in organisations usually pick 3 local charities per year to raise money and awareness for. They get employees involved in CSR activities such as carol singing in their local area. It could be gardening for the community, it could be cleaning up the sides of the roads, just all these different things that they could be doing. And they also spread awareness that the company is giving back. You know, they're doing more than they need to. So this is ethical on their behalf, and it shows that they're showing interest in more than just the business. An example of this would be Kenko versus gangs. They came up with a campaign to employ young boys instead of getting them involved in gangs, and there's a short little video clip here that will demonstrate that. And just bear in mind how they are sustainable throughout the video. so from watching that video, can anyone give me an example of Kenko or give back socially to boys in Honduras?
You can see how they like took them off the streets and put them into the farms to reduce violence.
Okay. Lauren?
It would probably also help the local community that if they have more boys that are actually working and earning decent living, they'll be able to put the money back into the local businesses as well, rather than if they're in gangs, they're more likely to steal money from the local environment as well.
That's a great example, so they'd be able to benefit the local economy.
And does anyone know how like programs like this affect the business ethics of a company like Kenko running programs like this for young boys across the world?
Well, like their image obviously has improved like tremendously because of this
Yeah.
ad. It went viral, and I suppose you can see from it that they have good moral principles, that they're taking them
Exactly.
out of maybe not the best area
Yeah.
of Honduras and training them from such a young age to hopefully give them a career for life, and it'll reduce violence in their towns and like
Exactly, yeah.
communities.
No, that's
That
it,
makes
yeah.
it look good for the business then too.
Exactly. Look, they look on the world stage and they look good because they're promoting programs like this to like take underprivileged kids out and
Yeah.
give them a chance.
Yeah.
It'll make people like want to buy their product more as well,
Exactly,
like, compared
yeah.
to other coffee brands, like because you know they know that it's not coming from like
Yeah.
young kids or whatever being exploited. Like these people are getting paid and their lives are being made
And when
better.
they make an investment buying Kenko, they're investing in these young people.
In their lives,
It's kind of like the fair trade symbol.
Exactly,
Whenever
yeah.
you see Kenko, you know it's
Coming from somewhere good, it's coming from a good place.
So next we're going to look at environmental impacts. It's important for businesses to realise what impact they're having on the environment surrounding them. So they'll need to look at what they're putting into the business and what they're putting out of it. The last thing they want to be doing is damaging the environment around them. We want somewhere for, let's say, our future children to live happy when they're growing up, and for future generations.
And I see you have Andrex as an example. Does anyone know why that was used?
yeah, something about when they chop down trees to make
Exactly, yeah. For every tree that they cut down for use, they plant 3 more in the place. So this way it keeps a sustainable future for the business and for everyone else.
That's also a good example as well for reducing CO2 emissions. All the trees and take it in and leave off.
And again, it looks good for their public image as well.
Yeah, exactly. So the next thing will be economical. It's important that when companies are looking at economic impacts, they want to make sure, again, just like environmental, that they're using all their assets and all their inputs correctly and they're utilising them. They don't want to be wasting money on things that they're not going to benefit from. So a good example of this would be BMW. James, can you tell us a little bit more?
BMW, they are a prime example of this because they actually give fair pay right across the board to all their workers. They're very efficient when it comes to energy, water use, wastage, and I know they've invested a lot of money in the green energy and the future of electric cars and systems like that to be more economically friendly and stuff. So they're a good example of how economic sustainability should be handled and dealt with.
Earlier on we gave some examples of businesses that are sustainable, but not all businesses are sustainable, and some examples of that were Tesco and Dell. So Tesco weren't sustainable before, but now they offer their customers discounts and savings when they use reusable shopping bags, as we mentioned earlier. And they're also starting to monitor the carbon footprint of their products, so they're actually looking at where their products are coming from and how much of an impact on the environment it's having getting their products to the stores. Dell are also allowing people to bring back old computers now, so they're going to look after them and dispose of them without it being harmful, and they're also only producing computers once they are ordered. So this is reducing waste, and it's also maximising their profits, as they're not just leaving computers sitting there and waiting to be ordered. So now we're going to look at our second activity for the day. So consider you're a CEO of a large company and the residents in the local community aren't happy with your proposal and have protested against the extension that your company had planned. What do you propose the company could do to keep the locals happy? Can you split up into groups 2 again, please? And James will give a hand if needed.
I suppose that they could like sponsor some communities, like sponsor people. Yeah, if they don't really, it's not even like sponsor the whole club or like using the innovations and stuff. And definitely.
Oh yeah.
And then we do raise for the community charities. And then at
Yeah,
Christmas,
like I
we
could
will
have
have
like
like
cards
cards
or like
like
that.
Yeah.
No, definitely don't.
families.
That would be really good if we.
That's good. It links everyone
Like
into
if
the
yeah,
community as
could
well.
be like
Yeah.
separate and then some charities. I don't know, maybe someone could open like a fresh and then like an ask for schools and blah blah blah. Like not even child might explore, but they might want. So
Any
what
ideas?
is that we have?
say that once a month they could
Sponsor local football or like
Brian, yeah.
and fund a local community centre, so somewhere that like everyone can go, like all ages. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
That's
Which one is the one with that?
Yeah, like I don't have one, so I don't even want to, but you know.
ours is,
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so has everyone come up with an example of how they can keep their locals happy? Yeah. So Kate, what did your group come up with?
sponsor local football teams or clubs and fund local community centres to like
Okay.
all ages, because Crowley's area doesn't have.
I don't have a community centre, so I was just saying like it might be a good benefit case saying she does, so she can see like why it would benefit the community, whereas I'm losing out
Like
because I
bring
don't
us all
have it.
together really, and you know.
Yeah, we ignore that we don't meet like really, so.
Yeah, it would be a good place now to hold events and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And
And
lots of fundraisers, aren't you?
yeah, and organise outings for kids even in schools and things
Yeah.
like that. Emma, what did your group come up with?
So we were thinking like maybe once a month they could like send their employees out into like the local community and let them take part in like tidy towns, or they could like build gardens and stuff, like recreation places for like maybe if there was a nursing home nearby they could have them or something like that.
Yeah, almost like a buddy scheme for the elderly and go visit them in case they're feeling lonely and things like that. Sylvia, what did your group come up with?
So we said that we could have like a bake sale in work, and the money then that we raise we could give to like local charities. And then we said during Christmas then we could have like a carol service and like invite all the families of the workers plus all of the people within the area, kind of bring the whole community, the two communities together then.
That'd be a great initiative to get people from within the business and the community working together and to get to know each other that bit better. Another example that I have is from where I'm from at home. Eli Lilly are a pharmaceutical plant, and they actually carry out road maintenance during the winter and things like that in the local area. Yeah.
And couldn't they also like try put employment back into the community? So if they're going to go ahead like with the extension, like they could hire local people who might be struggling for work, and then obviously they'd be more on board with it because it's giving them something like to aim for.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be creating wealth in the local community. Kate, what were you going to say?
No, I just actually remember there that Tesco do all this. When you spend money, you get a blue token, you can put it
Into
put
the
them
charity
into
box.
jars to like help the community.
Yeah, that's another great example of what they do for the local community. So Emma, you gave a great example there of how employees go out and help their communities get involved in tidy towns. That's a good example of CSR. So CSR is defined as actions that appear to further some social good beyond the interests of the firm and that which are required by law. I'm going to pass you over here to James now, and he's going to discuss this.
Yeah, I'm just going to speak to the class for a few minutes about how business ethics links into sustainability and give you a better understanding hopefully of it. As Joan said, my name is James Watkin. I'm a business consultant. Basically what my job entails is to go around larger organisations and have a look at their business models to see how their company can become more sustainable and work towards a greener future. So I'm just going to basically go through a few companies who I've worked with in the past and how they've changed their business models to become more sustainable. But before I do, has anyone got any ideas of any companies who have changed their ways, or any of the larger organisations that have become more sustainable that you've heard of in the past?
You said McDonald's earlier, like
Yeah.
the straws behind the counter, and like just they're not using as much waste with like the food they're handling.
Exactly, yeah. So here's just a couple of examples here. McDonald's is one, you've all heard of Starbucks, P&G is another, and even Irish Water. These are all examples of organisations who've developed successful sustainability programs, who haven't had them in the past but have introduced them over the years, and they're reaping the benefits now. First one we look at is Irish Water. I'm sure you've all heard of Irish Water by now. Basically, their plan is to work on developing a climate change adaptation strategy that will impact climate change on customers and Irish Water. Set up by the government as a state body to manage the water systems that we have, to try and combat waste and water usage throughout the country, because a lot of the pipelines and waterways we have are old and not maintained properly, so there's a lot of leakage and wastage, and it's not a very sustainable system that we run. So Irish Water was set up to levy and try and make it more sustainable. I mean, there's a lot of uproar about it, but there's some sort of programme was needed to be put in place in order to make sure that we had a sustainable future in terms of water supplies in Ireland. So that's just one example that I'm sure a lot of you might have heard about. Another company I'm sure you've all heard of, Starbucks, and someone mentioned in class earlier on a couple of initiatives they've introduced, like the reusable cups. So if you buy a reusable cup off them and take it to them, they'll give you money off your cup of coffee or whatever it is you buy. They also have the fair trade mark on all their products, which means all goods and products used by them are sourced locally and through fair trade ways of business, which is obviously good for our own brand, and it's good for sustainability and therefore good for profits in the long run. Just here, CEO Howard Schultz held a meeting to address the issue of sustainability and how they could improve their engagement with the local community and suppliers, and that's how they've come up with this. And you can see other companies like Kenco that we've seen have taken initiatives similar to these and compared them and come up with their own ways of sustainability and giving back through, I suppose, CSR to local communities. P&G is another one that some of you may or may not have heard. Procter & Gamble it stands for. This company, they're a multinational manufacturer, and they're kind of like a parent company over a lot of brands. Have any of you ever heard of them?
My brother actually works in the marketing department for Procter & Gamble in Dublin, yeah.
And
So he's always like, well, I know like a little bit about it because he's like a brand ambassador, so he's like what you're saying, a manager for those companies. He's over like Gillette and Fairy, so like it ranges from like he could have nights where he has to go into the store and like set it up, or he could be in like a different country doing meetings like on a market. And even the latest, I think Pampers ad that had like all the premature babies, and then it's just come out, he made it, like he was making it at home, so he was showing to us the videos and stuff.
Yeah, that's basically what they do. They're over like Gillette, or will be a lot of beauty and different types of products. But for a company like such a large scale company, business ethics is very important, and for them to paint the proper picture in society, it has to be done properly, and they're doing this through sustainable, innovative products. So as you can see here, reports say that they've sold 52 billion in sustainable, innovative products between 2007 and 2012, which account for approximately 11% of the total cumulative sales over that period. Now, that's a very big step for a company. I know they're very large scale, but that's a very big step for a company like this to take, and paints a great picture for them in terms of sustainability, in terms of the business ethics, but also for other companies to look at them and see what procedures and steps must be taken to keep up with competitors, because someone who may choose them over their business ethics or sustainable ways of doing business over a competitor. So that was a very good step for such a large scale company to take in the marketplace. The company that we discussed earlier on in class, McDonald's, as I mentioned, they've taken steps to become more sustainable themselves by putting the likes of straws behind the counter to cut down on waste. They've also set themselves some proposed targets and plans for the future. They want to recycle 100% of guest packaging by 2025 to combat wastage. If they achieve this goal, this will be a huge improvement, as they currently only recycle 19% of packaging, which isn't very good for a company of their scale and size. They should really have that up around 50 or 60 at least. So if they meet targets, that would be a big achievement for a company of their size.
And didn't they set up Ronald McDonald Foundation as well?
That's right, yeah, which links into CSR. We discussed it earlier on as well, which looks good for the company and their brand as well. Yeah.
So thanks a million, James, for coming in today. It was great that you were able to give some good examples of companies being sustainable and how they're achieving their business ethics and things. So just to recap today, what we've learned, so we have a clear definition of sustainability within business ethics. We got to see some good examples of sustainability in practice and how businesses are improving to become more sustainable. We also got to look at the effects of being sustainable on the wider society and why businesses are being more sustainable to benefit them within
And
their
their
business ethics. We also carry out some activities to get more examples of what you can use at home, in school, and what's being done in the workplace. So that's a wrap for today. Just be bear in mind this when you're carrying out your mini companies this year, to think of being sustainable and how you could benefit the communities, and also look at how you could be more ethical. Thanks.